call yourself? And they go, the Aristocrats.
Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Ado About Nothing. And this week, we're heading to Pioneer to play one of my favorite archetypes, which is Abzan Rally the Ancestors Aristocrats. This is an old school aristocrat style deck with actual literal aristocrats, like Cartel Aristocrats or Sacrifice Outlet, no Mayhem Devils, no Croxes, none of this newfangled sack stuff. This is OG Aristocrats. So let's talk about the deck. Jump into a Pioneer League, see it in action. So the plan of our deck is pretty simple. We're built around Rally the Ancestors. Every creature in our deck costs 2 or less mana. So what that means is Rally the Ancestors is 4 mana, reanimate our entire graveyard at instant speed. The problem with Rally is we have to exile all the creatures it reanimates on our upkeep, but that's not really a problem for our deck because we're not trying to attack with our creatures. We're planning to rally them all back and then sacrifice them with some Blood Artifacts out to win the game before they get exiled. So step 1 to this plan is fill the graveyard. Stitcher, Supplier, Satyr, Wayfinder, fill the graveyard. Herbal Gargoyle, if we kick it, can fill the graveyard. It's also part of our backup plan, which is alongside Feed Artisan, another creature that gets big based on the number of creatures in our graveyard. We can just fill our graveyard, play a couple of like 5/5, 10/10 2-drops, and hopefully just beat our opponent down in a couple of attacks. Then we have our real finishing plan, which is our Sack Outlet Cartel Aristocrat in 6 Blood Artifacts, Zulaport, Cutthroat, Cruel Celebrate. So ideally, we fill our graveyard, we rally, we get back a bunch of creatures, including maybe some Blister Pods and Haunted Witness, which are kind of 2 creatures in one, because when they die, we get a token, so they sacrifice twice, and then we just sacrifice everything to Cartel Aristocrat, drain our opponent out of the game for the full 20 with our Blood Artifacts. So that's our goal. Otherwise, Priest of Forgotten Gods, a little bit of sacrifice-based removal called the Death Dweller, can't really combo and win the game like Rally, but another little graveyardy, reanimating value play. Mana base, pretty typical Pioneer stuff. Sideboard, the biggest problem for this deck, by far, is graveyard hate. If you think about our main plan, Rally the Ancestors, we gotta have our graveyard. If you think about our backup plan, which is big Fiend Artisans and big Herbal Gargoyles, we also need our graveyard. So Leyline of the Void, Rest in Peace, even Graveyard Trespass are really good against our deck. Hopefully our sideboard can answer these. Outland Liberator blows up the artifact and enchantment-based hate. Thoughtseize can take hate cards from the sideboard. Fatal Push gets rid of creature hate. Voice of Resurgence for control. Leyline of the Void to deal with our opposing graveyards. And that is Abzan Rally Aristocrats for Pioneer. That's our Much Ado for this week. So let's jump into some game and see, can an old school aristocrat style deck actually compete in the Pioneer format? That's what we're gonna find out today. Oh yeah, I also wanted to mention the deck's almost $400 in paper, which isn't super expensive but not cheap. But on Magic Online, only 100 ticks, so not really budget, but also not super expensive if you're playing with the card rental programs or whatever. Pretty easy to put together. So anyway, that's Abzan Rally Aristocrats. That's our Much Ado for this week. Let's jump into our league, see it in action. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Today's video is brought to you by our awesome sponsor, Card Kingdom. You can get all the Dominaria United cards you need and help support the show over at cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish. Much Ado About Nothing time. We are doing some pioneering this week with Abzan Aristocrats, a full-on old school literal aristocrats in the deck, Rally the Ancestor deck, and I don't know if we keep this. 4 lands is a lot, and we got no way to fill the graveyard. The Cartel Aristocrat is good, but we really want, I think we need more action than this. We need a Satyr Wayfinder or a Stitcher Supplier, some way to start getting stuff into the graveyard, I think. This is gonna be what? Turn 2, plain Aristocrat. Turn 3, ugh. I mean, I guess we could draw into those things, and having the rally is nice. I just don't think it's enough. Yeah, we're gonna mulligan it. This we're gonna keep, although this hand really needs to draw land. Like, really. Yeah, let's put Blister Pod to the bottom. All right, Magic Gods, we're on the draw, which is good. That is helpful. Opponent appears to be a control deck. Oh, no, don't mill all of our land, Stitcher Supplier. We found the Satyr Wayfinder, but we need the lands to go. Oh, no. Oh, mill 2 Overgrown Tombs that we really desperately needed. Of Mellitus. Sure, gonna get a Plains. Green source off the top, please. If we hit a green source, despite milling 2 of them, should we have not played Stitcher Supplier in case we had a land on top of our deck? It's basic Plains. You literally have no option here. Click. Click the button, friend. All right, opponent figured it out, sort of. Hey, that is on tap green source. Okay, well, now we do get to play Magic, which is pretty sweet. Seder Wayfinder. Yeah, I guess we'll take the Temple Garden. So we milled another Stitcher Supplier. We get in for 1. I mean, so the good news is, well, the bad news is, if our opponent can like Farewell or something, we get super wrecked. The good news is, this hand's actually looking kind of decent now. And if our opponent has like normal Wraths, we just rally everything back and hopefully win. Opponent. So they get the wall. Passes. All right, you did it, deck. You gave us all the lands we need. We can stop with the lands now. Go attacking. Opponent blocks, takes 1. Run out Cruel Celebrant in case our opponent has like a Supreme Verdict or something. Plus, we want this somewhere to set up our future rally. Well, tap land, go. Like, what we don't want is this to be stuck in our hand on our rally turn. I guess we're still missing a sack outlet, although we get a bunch more milling from the Stitcher Supplier if it dies. So we need like the Cartel Aristocrat is kind of the missing piece to maybe win with the rally. Another Blood Artist would also make it easier. 1 Blood Artifact, not necessarily enough. Gonna do some scrying. Our main plan here might be to win by time. Our opponent is not playing at the quickest pace. Gonna gain some life. Stormcarved Coast. And Fires of Invention. Well, we don't have to worry about counters, I guess. That's good. What's the follow-up? All right, there's the Sweeper. I mean, I think this is hopefully okay. We'll see. So we get to drain our opponent. We get to mill. Okay, there's a Cruel Celebrant. So we just need to find the sack outlet. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Well, Temple Garden untapped. So we can kick a Goyf and do a little milling. We have 2 Blood Artists. All we got to do, yeah, I think that's what we do. Like, we just need to find an Aristocrat, and we should have the combo kill with this rally. And because our opponent's a Fires deck, they shouldn't really be able to interact with it. Oh, all right, we milled another Zulaport Cutthroat. So we have everything we need. We do need to be aware of our opponent getting to like a Farewell though. So we are on a bit of a clock. I mean, it's nice that the Goyf is a 8-9. That's a decent backup plan. This Fiend Artisan's also going to be massive. The opponent can land Yarion, cast Yarion if they want to. Blink the Omen. It's not a ridiculous amount of value. Oh, we're so close. I guess we could also like try to wait for our opponent to Wrath and then in response rally. All right, Portable Hole gonna get the Goyf. Yeah. Opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. Wandering Emperor. Okay. Well, come on, sack outlet or self-mill. Not grabbing the Yarion? They gotta grab the Yarion, right? They can't cast stuff during our turn anyway because of Fires. Are they gonna scry? All right, opponent passes. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Well, we will play Priest of Forgotten Gods. Play Fiend Artisan. I mean, if we untap with the Fiend Artisan, that can find the sack outlet we need. We don't even need it on the battlefield. We just need it anywhere. Graveyard is acceptable. I'm very worried about Farewell though. If our opponent Farewells, we lose, basically. There's no real rebuilding if they Wrath our graveyard. Okay, bounces the Fiend Artist. And while that's our opponent's last card, they do get to draw off of this Omen and Yarion at some point, but no Farewell in hand is big. All right, gets the Yarion, makes a Samurai, goes to combat, gets in for 2. Ooh, so they get to blink everything and reuse the Wandering Emperor. I guess an Agent of Treachery could be a problem too, because it could cut us off the mana we need. There's the Yarion. So blinks the Omen, blinks the Wandering Emperor. I guess they could blink the Portable Hole. I don't know if they will though. Okay, gonna blink the Portable Hole. So we get the Goyf back. Opponent gets back everything. Presumably gonna go after the Priest of Forgotten Gods. Okay, so we get the Goyf. Opponent scries and draws. We are getting to the point where we need to find this pretty soon. We don't have that much time left. Opponent eats the Priest of Forgotten Gods. We untap. Oh, another Goyf. Is there any way we can do it by blocking? Probably not. Attack our opponent. Opponent gonna block with the wall. Sure. Well, let's kick another Goyf. Can we mill an Aristocrat? Not yet. Past the turn. Opponent untaps. So there's a Haunted Witness. Well, at this point, it's getting to the, like, we're a little unlucky, I think, because we went through half of our deck. Opponent's going to upkeep Scry. We've gone through 28 cards without finding the sack outlet. Opponent, 1 to the top. What 2 spells do we get for free this turn, opponent? Chain to the Rocks. Going to hit a Goyf. Combat. Attacks. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. What do they do with the Wandering Emperor? It's the Goyf. We draw. Oh, the Aristocrat, but is it too late? Can we live another turn? Fiend Artisan. Black, white. Cartel Aristocrat. We gotta fade one more turn and we got the kill. Can we do it? Very worried about Agent of Treachery, steal White Source, and us not be able to rally after all that. Opponent does get to double loot if they want to. I mean, this is it. This is the game. The game all comes down to this one turn. Opponent gonna do some filtering. Because of fires, we don't even have to worry about a counter for the rally kill, and rally is, oh. Wait, did they not discard anything? Oh no. Well, that's not super encouraging. I mean, our opponent's gotta know what's going on, right? They have to. All right, counter on Yarion, sure. Goes to combat. Attacks with everything. Block here, take 9. Down to 2. What you got, opponent? Land, last card. It's gotta be Agent. What is Agent target? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, we win. Oh, if they had tapped the White Source, we were dead. But instead they went for the Fiend Artisan, and now we get the rally kill. Wow, that was close. And we would not have drawn the White Source. Well, all right, rally the Ancestors. X2, get it all back. Sack it all to the Aristocrat, and taking down the Fires deck. All right, get a bunch of triggers. Not that any of these really matter. Like, this is game. Mill. Grab a land. Sack the board. Cartel Aristocrat, sack Haunted Witness. Get a bunch of Blood Artist triggers. I mean, we have like 40 damage here or something. This is a full-on kill. Opponent said Luckbox. Little do they know that actually it was just a punt on their part. I mean, they blame it on us all they want, but the actual reason they're losing is because they chose the wrong thing with their with their Agent of Treachery. If they drew the White Source, this could not have happened, sadly. Well, we're going to build a pretty good Cartel Aristocrat. Sack the Blister Pod. Opponent actually said Luckbox. We've had this rally in hand literally the entire game. This was in our opening hand. We were just trying to get to the position where we could actually get lethal with it. And opponent almost got there. It almost took us too long. So now the question's going to be, what do we do against Graveyard Hate? That's the real question. Can we beat a deck with Graveyard Hate? All right, one more. We'll sack the Soldier. Oh yeah, we had plenty of damage. Get the triggers, and that is a dead Yarion. How do we beat Fires is the real question. So we have to assume they got to have Graveyard Hate, right? Graveyard Hate seems like a thing that this deck would have. I don't think they're playing Enigmatic Incarnation though, right? So we're gonna guess there's a ley line of some kind. Go down, call the Death Dweller. I think we want Thought Seizes. And probably Outland Liberator. Probably not Voice of Resurgence. Fires decks can't play that many counters. The question is, what do we cut? That's the real question. Let's go down 2 Haunted Witnesses. Cruel Celebrant, 1 Goyf, and I guess all the Haunted Witnesses? Ugh. We'll try it like that. We'll see. The question is, how do we win if they have Graveyard Hate? Not only does Graveyard Hate shut down the combo kill, but it also shuts down Fiend Artisan. So I feel like games 2 and 3 probably get a little more challenging. We really will need to Luckbox it. We're on the draw. Can we Luckbox our way past? Well, we have a sack outlet. Double rally, which may or may not be helpful. Do we keep this? Yeah, let's mulligan. All right, this one we'll keep. We will put a rally to the bottom. Don't really want to keep 2 rallies. Pretty risky against Graveyard Hate. Plus, hopefully we only need 1 to win. Although there are times, if there's no Graveyard Hate, where like rally to get back mill creatures to rally is pretty good. Say if they have the Graveyard Hate. If they don't, I kind of like this hand. If they do, we'll see what happens. A Thought Seize would have been nice. Just to little hand check. Make sure there's no Rest in Peace hanging out over there, whatever. All right, opponent. Valakut Awakening. Passes. Blooming March. And Stitcher's Supplier. Mill a few cards. Liberator Aristocrat. Wouldn't have minded drawing this since it actually answers Graveyard Hate, but opponent. Hallowed Fountain. Passes. Well, go to combat. Hit you for 1. Play the land, and I mean, I think we gotta run it out. Priest of Forgotten Gods. I'm expecting the untap land means something's gonna die, but we'll see. Oh, just an omen, okay. Well, I mean, if we can untap and actually get a priest trigger, that'd be nice. We do need to hit another land or two at some point. All right, opponent 2 to the bottom. All right, that's a good direction. The nice thing about our deck against Agent of Treachery is we don't really have anything worth stealing. Our creatures are also synergy based and tiny that other than the land, like stealing our lands can still be effective, but opponent, Sundown Pass and Sundown Passing. Ooh, we draw land, which is nice. Play Concealed Courtyard. Stitcher's Supplier. Mill some cards. Is there a chance we can win here? I'll go to combat attack. Hit you for 1. The problem is we don't have Blood Artist effect in the graveyard. We would get to mill 6. Yeah, I think we just pass awkwardly. The concern here is our opponent having like a Rest in Peace or something. Valakut Awakening to draw some cards. That's a concern. So there's a world where we Priest of Forgotten Gods, sack the Stitcher Supplier, draw a card, make some mana. That gives us enough mana to rally. And if we hit a Blood Artist effect, then I think we would just win potentially or very close to it. That's the thinking. The other option is to just like run out the Zulaport Cutthroat here and try to set up for a win next turn. I think this is better against Graveyard Hate though. We'll see. Does some filtering, untaps. What do they find? Opponent needs something good. I mean, they really need the Graveyard Hate. Also a little worried about counters. Fire's decks, even though Fires prevents you from playing counters, Fire's decks do occasionally play a counter or two. All right, there's a Fire spell 1. What's spell 2? That's the real question. 14. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Okay. So now I think we just literally do nothing. Opponent passes. We draw Satyr Wayfinder. Well, all right, Priest of Forgotten Gods. Sack and sack. Mill. Mana. Oh, and we draw the land. Okay, that should do it then, I think. Godless Shrine. Untap. Opponent's at 12. Rally. Wow, this went super well. Rally X2. Get everything back. Mill some cards. Play the Zulaport Cutthroat. And kill ya. Sack the Blister Pod, drain ya, and well, we luckboxed our way. We luckboxed our way to this win. Oh, we luckboxed him. Sack. Put it down to 8. Put it down to 6. Building a mini Progenesis. Sack the Stitcher Supplier. About it down to 4. About it down to 2. And Protection from All Colors. And last but not least, Outland Liberator. Opponent down to dead. And that's how you Aristocrat passed one of the scariest decks in the format. That was super sweet. Sweet. Much ado about nothing time. We are keeping the one-lander. We are pioneering this week with some Aristocrat action. Haunted Witness. That's such a greedy keep. Yeah, let's mulligan. I guess this is actually quite a bit better. We will keep. We will put a land to the bottom. And all right, off to the races. Overgrown Tomb, untap Stitcher Supplier, mill some cards past the turn. Well, milled 3 lands. Not ideal. Opponent. I guess you take the Fiend Artisan. Untap land and the Forgotten Gods. Hit you for 1. Well, we definitely need to draw some action. One thing about our deck is we do need a lot of cards for it to do its thing. Valve Sleeper and Fatal Push. Knight of the Even Legion. All right, a sackable dork would be super helpful here. Oh my god, another land. Praise to Forgotten Gods. Play the tap land. Wow, there were a lot of lands on the top of our deck. Maybe we should have kept that one lander. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, I mean, we can priest at some point. It would be better if we didn't have to sack the Stitcher Supplier. This is where like a Hunted Witness or a Blister Pod or something would be so nice. Liliana the Veil. Wow, ticks up. Okay, was not expecting that. Sure. Passes. Come on, deck. No more lands. Zulaport Cutthroat. So, So we're gonna have black mana. The question is, do we just play the Zulaport Cutthroat first? It's more damage, but then we might not be able to play what we draw into. Or maybe we're just sacking it. I guess that's a reason to play it. Do we have more white cards or green cards that we might play? That's pretty even, isn't it? All right, we'll do it like this. Play Zulaport Cutthroat. Sack Stitcher Supplier and Zulaport Cutthroat. Drain you, mill. Draw, make you sack, and it's even more lands. All right, well, play Concealed Courtyard. Pass the turn. Yeah, that that was kind of a whiff. Holy Landerino, pass the turn. The good news is we're to the point of the game where we're drawing very live to Rally the Ancestors. So we haven't milled one yet, and we've got a lot of lands out of the way. And I think, would Rally be lethal? 2 Cutthroats. 1, 2, 3. The opponent's gonna tick down now. We'll sack a priest. I think it would be lethal. It would be super close. Oh no. Oh no, the nightmare. Just kidding. I take it all back. We're super dead. Eats a Zulaport Cutthroat. Yeah, that ruins our day. Well, I mean, a rally would still be good, but I think we have to like draw a rally this turn. No reason not to block, right? Yeah, I think we have to top deck rally right now or this Graveyard Trespasser is gonna beat us. Ooh, call the Death Dweller. Not exactly rally, but not bad. I'll call the Death Dweller. Are we just sacking stuff is the question. So Liliana can tick down. I think we go Stitcher Supplier. Yeah, Liliana's an issue. This Graveyard Trespasser is an issue. All of this, I guess, is an issue. I mean, I guess it's Stitcher Supplier Fiend Artisan. Get him back. Death Touch counter on Stitcher Supplier. Menace counter on Fiend Artisan. Mill some cards. Pass the turn. Well, let's see if they got real removal. Yeah, Graveyard Hate's pretty good against what we're trying to do. Although this Fiend Artisan is nice. The question is, will it survive? We really don't want to sack it. So the problem is they can like take down Liliana. The question is really, do they have a second? Ooh, okay, Rankle. Okay, that's kind of fine. It's in with Rankle. We take it. Well, now we're back to the, can we draw a rally? If we can draw a rally, life is so good. I mean, I think we're back to a rally being lethal, honestly. All right, each player sacks. So we'll sack Stitcher Supplier. Mill some cards. No rallies. Takes down Liliana. We untap. Oh! What a hit. 11 you. Got him. The Graveyard Hate was scary, but not scary enough. Opponent goes to 3, and then we'll do a little Rally the Ancestoring. Bring him back. And yeah, that is pretty lethal. Attack the Haunted Witness. Only one Zulaport Cutthroat, but that's all we need. And we got there. Okay, so the question is, what Graveyard Hate are we worried about this time? That is an age-old question. Mono Black is not like the most popular archetype in Pioneer at the moment. Leyline. Go blank Unlicensed Hers. Go blank. So it could be Leyline or Go blank. The problem is those cards have very different answers. And we already saw the Graveyard Trespasser. Well, Outland Liberator is going to come in. Voice of Resurgence could be okay. And then do we have to bring in Thoughtseize to try to fight the Graveyard Hate? That's so many. And then Fatal Push would also be, oh my goodness, that's so many cards. So many cards. Well, how do we possibly sideboard this much and still have a functional deck? So maybe we go like 3 Thoughtseizes. I guess Voice of Resurgence, that's more of a backup plan. It is good against removal and like Liliana's. It's just a body that dies twice, although Liliana's probably going out, right? So maybe we don't go heavy on Voice of Resurgence. Go down a Goyf. Go down a couple Haunted Witnesses. This is not an easy deck to sideboard a ton with. Go down Call the Death Dweller. Go down the Goyf. Go down a Cruel Celebrant. Go down a Haunted Witness. 2 Thoughtseizes? All right, 2 Thoughtseizes. Let's try like that. Not enough space for everything that we would want. Although we're up a game, which is huge. Ooh, that's a fair little hand, but I kind of like it. We'll try it. The thing I like about this hand is if our opponent's gonna aggressively mulligan for Graveyard Hate, this is the kind of hand that can win without the graveyard. Like, given Cartel Aristocrat protection and beating down, especially our opponent's all the way down to 4 in search of Graveyard Hate. So if our opponent's gonna go that low on cards to try to stop our graveyard with a Leyline or something, this is the kind of hand hand that can punish them for doing that. That's a theory anyway, that our opponent does all this mulliganing to try to get graveyard hate, and we're just like, oh, okay, attack with 2/2s, gotcha. I mean, the best case scenario is our opponent mulligans to try to find graveyard hate and still doesn't find graveyard hate, and then we got things going on multiple levels. Wow, mulligans into the one-lander. Well, Concealed Courtyard, and we will start with a Voice of Resurgence. Go. I do really love the art on Voice. I don't know why. It's so bright. For some reason, I've always liked that art. Opponent finds land number 2. Okay, kills part of a Voice of Resurgence. Sure. I mean, with our opponent mulliganing so much, 1-for-1 removal is kind of a win at the moment for us. We would like to stop drawing so many lands. Cartel Aristocrat. And a tap land. And get in for 2. So what's a blowout here? Opponent draws a land in Liliana's Way Aristocrat. Yeah, we'll sack it. Having a sack outlet's pretty nice. Finds a land. Wow, they really kept in the Lilianas. Okay. Liliana takes it down, gets rid of the Aristocrat. Sure, but they're down to 1 card in hand. We will Godless Shrine untapped. Fiend Artisan. Play a second Aristocrat past the turn. I mean, for mulling to 4, opponents putting up a fight so far. We'll see. Hopefully the lack of cards will start to catch up with our opponent. But so far, they've been doing all right. Can our opponent afford to take up Liliana? If they do, what do we discard? Opponent ticks up. They might be setting up a go blank. That would be annoying. Well, discard Zulaport Cutthroat. Opponent discards a land. Plays more Lilianas. Opponent's officially out of cards. Opponent ticks down. Well, we'll sack the Aristocrat. Draw a pretty useless land. Well, play Fiend Artisan. Kill Liliana. Play the tap land, pass the turn. I'm surprised they kept in Liliana at all. Liliana I don't think is good against our deck. Like, our deck is built to sacrifice stuff. It wants stuff in the graveyard. Like, we could almost play Liliana in our deck, honestly. Opponent passes. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Is there even any reason to do shenanigans, or should we just be beating down? I mean, hitting for 10's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, go to combat, hit it for 10. Takes it, and then I guess we run out Priest of Forgotten Gods, just have some sack fodder past the turn, and I mean, opponent, they gotta top deck something. Cut down. I mean, they still gotta top deck something, or else they just get Fiend Artisan. Opponent untaps, what do they draw? They need that graveyard hate, they need a removal spell, they need something, and they don't find it, and up to 2-0. Opponent probably did what they need to do, which is mulligan for graveyard hate, didn't find it, and got max punished by the Fiend Artisans. Sweet. Much brew about nothing time. We are playing the Aristocrats. Abzan Aristocrats in Pioneer, and yeah, I mean, this hand's pretty good. Elvish Mystic, cool. Can we out combo mono green? Oh, there's the rally. Well, I mean, that is what we wanted to see. Stitcher Supplier mills some cards. So we milled a Haunted Witness. So what do we need to win the game? We need another land and then more Blood Artists and Aristocrat effect. The challenge, I think, against mono green is they can potentially use Karn to get graveyard hate, which is annoying. Another rally while Temple Garden untapped. Run out Satyr Wayfinder. Mill some cards. Plains. Hit you for 1. Didn't find the sack outlet yet. Well, opponent goes to 19. No Karns. No land into Karn, please. No. We don't really have removal, so it's not like we can kill this. Oh, there's a land. You know their hand's got to be good if they kept the 1-lander. Iora. Okay, that can untap a land that makes 2 mana. Llanowar Elves. Going to pass. Go to combat. Everything at our opponent. Not really even any point to going after the Kiora here. Fiend Artisan. Tap land. Go. Well, if our opponent doesn't find graveyard hate, we might have a shot. What we need to do is Fiend... Oh, opponent has so much mana now, though. This is... Mono Green Devotion. I feel like I never beat Mono Green Devotion. Feels like no matter what I play, I just lose to this deck. My record against it has to be ridiculously poor. This deck, never beat it. Just never beat it. Opponent, gonna tap and untap. Oh, doesn't even need to untap. Gonna go digging for the Nykthos with the Cavalier and draws a card. Okay, no Nykthos at least. So we have like 2 turns to win. Oh, Thanissa. All right, no Karns, please. No Karns, no Nykthoses. No Karns, no Nykthoses. There's the Nykthos. Nykthos. Oh, opponent's still going. Stack's so busted. I used to want them to add Nykthos to Arena. Now I'm starting to think that Nykthos, as much as I love it, oh God, what a hand. It might just need to be banned, unfortunately. Opponent taking down the card. The thing that makes me sad is I like mono white devotion is cool, mono black devotion is cool, mono blue devotion. Every Nykthos deck except this one is sweet. Unfortunately though, God, jeez. You got us, opponent. Well done. This is turn 4, by the way. Opponent just played that turn. They played Cavalier of Thorns, Oath of Nissa, Pelucranos, and Karn. And we draw a land. Is there even any point in continuing? They even have the Graveyard Haze, so it's not like yeah, I mean, all right, sure. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I feel like this mono green deck is probably... It is at the very least on the border of being too good for the Pioneer format. It is right on that line. So I don't know what you do about it, honestly. Oh, so we have to stop Graveyard Hate, which means we have to stop Karn. I guess these are the cards we'd be interested in if we can find room for them. Big creatures don't seem very good against this deck because our opponent also has very big creatures. Priest of Forgotten Gods could be okay. How do we make this work? Go down a Cruel Celebrant, go down Call the Death Dweller, go down a Haunted Witness, go down a Haunted Witness, Fiend Artisan. I mean, we might need the Fiend Artisan for tutoring purposes. All right, go down the Haunted Witness, and is it even worth trying to fight against the Mana Dorks? Honestly, maybe it's not. I mean, opponent's just going to have all the mana. I don't think we can stop them from having all the mana. Maybe what we got to try to do is just stop them from resolving the Graveyard Hate. I think that's the game plan. Like, opponent's going to make the mana. Hopefully, we can keep them from playing a Karn with that mana. If we can keep them from playing a Karn with that mana, then hopefully we will have a shot. Because they're a Karn deck, they're most likely playing like one of everything in the sideboard, so they shouldn't have like a ton of Graveyard Hate or anything. Are we leading on Thoughtseize? It's probably worth it here. Yeah, let's Blooming Marsh. Thoughtseize you. Elvish Mystic, Oath of Nissa, 2 lands, Cavalier of Thorns. Elvish Mystic does slow him down a bit. Oath of Nissa finds the scariest cards. I mean, I guess we just take the Mystic, pass the turn. I mean, maybe we can just mill a bunch of creatures and get a Fiend Artisan beatdown win. Oath of Nissa. All right, what do they find? Okay, they find a Mana Dork for next turn anyway. Sure. Opponent passes. Apply the land, Fiend Artisan. We are going to need to draw some more lands at some point. Llanowar Elves and Nykthos. Cartel Aristocrat. Well, we will Stitcher Supplier mill some cards. And there's some lands, and Stitcher Supplier mill some cards. Okay, there's some creatures. Hit you for 5. We're putting up a fight. Opponent untaps. If we can hit lands, this rally might be able to do it, because we can sacrifice the Stitcher Suppliers to this Cartel Aristocrat, but we need 2 more lands. Opponent. Oh, passing, okay. We draw land, rally. I mean, I think we just go to combat attack with everything. Opponent gonna take the beats. Cartel Aristocrat, pass the turn. Opponent's down to 8. I mean, they have to block the Fiend Artisan. Done. Yeah, because we can sack the Stitcher Suppliers to grow it, so our opponent's locked into chump blocking, and, well, it took our opponent running pretty clunkily, but we did get there somehow. Can we do it one more time? Is the Outland Liberator even worth it? I guess it probably is. All right. So many tough decisions. Yeah, we gotta run it back. All right, opponent's on the play. Would you like to mold a 3, opponent? Please. Oh, this hand's great if we live. I mean, we got no rally. We're missing the rally, but we can fill the graveyard pretty well. We got the sack outlet. There's a Llanowar. Opponent passes. There's the rally. Godless Shrine, untapped. The problem is this is gonna require dodging the Karn for graveyard. Hey, Stitcher Supplier mills some lands that we kind of wanted past the turn. How bad is it? There's the Nykthos. Gary, Willow Haven, Llanowar Elves, Elvish Mystic. So much mana. Well, we're drawing all the rallies. So I guess we're at the hope they don't have a finisher. Oh, God, okay. Well, that's a bunch of creatures in the graveyard. That's good, that's good. The bad news is our opponent has, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana on turn 3. Cavalier of Thorns. Gonna go digging. It's a Nykthos if they want it. Okay, so that means our opponent presumably has more big things to play this turn. Oh, please not Storm the Festival or Karn. Those are the two. Okay. Going attacking. Well, it's not like we have some grand plan for the Satyr Wayfinder, so block. Down to 15. Land? That is a land. So we only get to play one thing this turn. The question is there any way we win with a rally next turn? Probably not with the Aristocrat in hand. So we're probably gonna need 2 turns? Well, I think we still just Satyr Wayfinder. Satyr Wayfinder, hope it doesn't whiff this time. Take the Godless Shrine. Play the Blooming Marsh. Okay, so if we can survive 2 turns with nothing going horribly wrong, we might be able to get him with Rally. That's the game plan. Can we dodge the whammies? Okay, that's not a whammy. Wolfillow Haven, that's about as much as we can hope for. Attacks. Do we want to block with both? Is it worth it? No. All right, Stitcher Supplier gets milled. Come on, Sack Outlets. Outland Liberator, Satyr Wayfinder. 7 mana. Is it Storm the Festival? Looks like. Oh, it's just Wolfillow Haven. Okay, that is fine. Opponent passes. Oh my goodness, we actually got a shot. We got a shot. How do we do it? How do we do it? How do we do it? So the problem is there's no Sack Outlet in the graveyard. Although there are 3 Priests of Forgotten Gods, which is kind of interesting. There's 1 Blood Artist. I think we actually rally. All right, play the land, pass the turn. I think we got a plan. We still need to fade our opponent just like going off here. But we actually sort of have a shot, I think. Attacks. We'll block. So we're trying to set up for the double rally kill. That's the hope. All right, let's see if they can go infinite. 6 mana. Stacks Wolfillow Haven. I mean, if this is all our opponent's got. All right, well, rally number 1. Make sure we got our upkeep stops at. Get everything back. Get a bunch of triggers. Okay. So I think we're just going to win on our upkeep. I think this is going to work. Oh, it's definitely going to work. Mill a ton of cards. Upkeep. Rally. Actually, let's Priest of Forgotten Gods. Sack and sack. Get some triggers. Mill some cards. Opponents. We definitely got it. We actually really truly did it. Okay. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Sack and sack. Get some triggers. Drain you. Sack and draw. And then Priest of Forgotten Gods. Sack and sack. Drain you. Make some mana, make you sack. We beat Mono Green Devotion. We never beat Mono Green Devotion. Never, ever, ever. It happened. I guess disregard my speech about never beating it because it actually happened with Aristocrats of all things. This is a sweet kill too. Like this is turn 5. In this next rally, oh my God. This next rally is gonna be the one. Rally? Get them all back? And yeah, that's a big board full of creatures. Put a bunch of triggers on the stack. We don't even need to let him resolve though. An opponent scoops it up and wow, the best kill yet. That was so good. I gotta admit, when I decided to play this deck, because I love Aristocrat stacks, and this list looks so sweet, I was a little nervous about just getting wrecked by Graveyard Hate because everyone's teching to beat like Greasefang, but I mean, technically we're 3-0. So Aristocrats, what can I say? Much brew about nothing time. We are playing some Abzan Goyf Aristocrats. Abzan Aristocrats with the new Goyf in it in Pioneer this week. And so far the deck's kind of been crushing it. We're currently 3-0 with it, shockingly. I miss Rally the Ancestor decks. I miss them. Ooh, Jangotha, eh? I don't know if we keep this one lander on the play. If we could cast the Stitcher Suppliers too, we might, but we're gonna mulligan. All right, this will keep. Put the Cartel Aristocrat to the bottom. So this probably just dies anyway. See if we can just find the rally and combo kill. We got a bunch of self-mill, which is nice. Well, Blister Pod, go. See what our opponent's up to. So Jangotha could be sack, right? Could also be combo, like Lotus Field or those type of decks. I think sometimes are Jangotha decks. All right, probably a sack deck. I wonder if sack just hard counters us. It might. Satyr Wayfinder. Get an overgrown tomb. Oh, those are some good mills. Okay. We do need to find the rally. Cruel Celebrant, Haunted Witness, and a Zulaport Cutthroat means we're not that far away from winning if we do Blooming Marsh. Opponent takes it. Well, Satyr Wayfinder number 2. Okay, we didn't mill a rally at least. Get a Godless Shrine. So we have all the lands that we need. We just got to top deck a rally. Stitcher Supplier. Okay, didn't mill a rally. I mean, all 4 rallies still left in the deck. Next turn, we can get down the Cartel Aristocrat. I assume our opponent has Obnixilis. Oh, Fable and Mirror Breaker, okay. I was thinking with them not blocking with the Unlucky Witness, it was a sign that they had Obnixilis, but apparently not. Rally, please? Concealed Courtyard. Well, we will run out the Cartel Aristocrat. Play the tap land, pass the turn. Well, and now we wait and pray for a rally before we die. Mayhem Devil might be an issue. Like if our opponent finds Mayhem Devil, wow, we've drawn a lot of lands, haven't we? If they have Mayhem Devil, that does make things awkward. Fatal Push, Bloody Betrayal. Yeah, I mean, the good news is them stealing our creatures probably won't be very effective. There's the Mayhem Devil. This is going to start pinging our stuff. And if we sack, our stuff also gets pinged. I'm wondering if we want to sack. Yeah, let's sack Stitcher's Supplier. Come on, don't mill a rally. No milling of rallies. Oh, okay, we milled a rally, unfortunately. Oh, Pro Red. Okay. So 1 rally down. 3 more in the deck. Opponent plays Sulphurous Springs. Another Witch's Oven. Passes. Rally. Or lands. Uh-oh. That's not good. Pass the turn. Gonna flip the Saga. Attacks. I mean, I think we just put our whole board in front of Mayhem Devil. I mean, we will just let it go. We will let our Cartel Aristocrat die if it means getting rid of the Mayhem Devil. We're not going to try to do any shenanigans. If our opponent starts sacking stuff, which they can do, they can sack the Witness. Gonna ping the Aristocrat. Oh, Cat Oven. Yeah, this isn't gonna work for us, is it? The opponent can sack the food and the treasure. Sacks the food. Okay. Yeah, this is just a tough spot. Mayhem Devil's so good against what we're trying to do. It triggers on all of our stuff. The good news is, if we draw a rally, we still win. The opponent does a ton of sacking. A million things die. Opponent gets to play the cat in the oven. 3 out of 36. 3 out of 36 for the win. Cauldron Familiar. Sure. The bad news is, we have like a turn. I think we have to top deck rally this turn to have a shot. And the Witch's Oven, yeah. Well, it all comes down to this. Opponent gonna sack the cat and kill the Scion. I mean, this is the game. This is the game in this 1-turn top deck. Is it a Rally the Ancestors? No. Well, I don't think there's any way we survive a turn, but we're gonna try just because we are still. Yeah, we really flooded out this game. We are still drawing live to rally, but I'm pretty sure we're dead with Cat in 3 ovens and a Mayhem Devil. Oh, and 2 Mayhem Devils. Oh, we're definitely dead. Yeah, Mayhem Devil gonna ping us. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about this. Reflections copying the Mayhem Devil. Okay, so we are just fully dead here. There's no point to even make them click through it. All right. What do we do in this matchup? Hi. Well, Leyline of the Void in. Outland Liberator in. Maybe Fatal Push in, if we can find the room. Go down a Cruel Celebrant. Sadly, go down our Goyfs. Go down the Hunted Witnesses. Call the Death Dweller. What else do we cut? I guess Priest of Forgotten Gods is actually pretty janky in this matchup. To the point where maybe we just keep in the Haunted Witness, at least one of them. All right, run it like that. Well, we got Leyline to shut down Cat Oven, get a touch of removal. Ooh, well, this hand's not good, but we do get to start with a Leyline, which I guess maybe makes this hand good. Maybe the Leyline is enough to just make it work. 4 lands is not exactly what we're looking for, though. Little bit on the heavy side land-wise. Oh, yeah, Leyline. Opponent also Leylines. All right, Leyline Wars. I think our opponent's deck's probably functions a little better through Leyline just because of Mayhem Devil. All right, gonna Thoughtseize our Priest. Opponent managed to mulligan into all the disruption. Well, this is kind of what we were worried about. Graveyard hate was a concern, especially in Pioneer right now, just because Greasefang is such a popular deck that pretty much everyone has to have a plan for the graveyard so you don't get janked out by Greasefang. Sokenzen, Unlucky Witness, and passes. I'll go to combat, hit you with the Cruel Celebrant. Don't want to play Stitcher Supplier for no value. So we need to find... you know what would probably be good in this deck is a Beseiju. That could be a good addition. Opponent. Yeah, and unlucky. Hits us down to 19 with the Witness and passes. Fatal Push. I'll go to combat, hit ya. So we need to find Outland Liberator. That is the card we need to get rid of our opponent's Leyline to perhaps free our combo. Having access to the Priest of Forgotten Gods would have been nice, but... oh, all right. Deadly Dispute. Draws some cards. Haunted Ridge for our opponent. And, oh god, Mayhem Devil. And Cauldron Familiar. Opponent passes. Another Leyline. Well, the opponent's definitely not using their graveyard, that's for sure. All right, I think we gotta run out one of these, sadly, even though we're trying to wait, but we don't have that many ways to blow up a Leyline in our deck. We have 2. So we probably can't afford to just wait forever. Well, Rally, Satyr, Wayfinder, Zulaport, Cutthroat. I guess that's fine. None of those are ways to blow up a Leyline. We need a chump blocker to block the Mayhem Devil and turn on Fatal Push. That's not Cruel Celebrant. Oh god, oh dear. Opponent gonna go attacking. Yeah, this is bad. This is exactly what we said. Opponent's deck probably better than our deck against Leyline just because they have Mayhem Devils, and Mayhem Devil triggers on something being sacrificed, not on the thing going to the graveyard or dying, which is a big difference. Our stuff all triggers based on death. Fatal Push, Mayhem Devil. Opponent can sack the treasure to kill the Cruel Celebrant if they want to. They also have Deadly Dispute, which basically, and maybe Obnixilus, they just have more cards that work under a Leyline than we do. Our plan under a Leyline is not very realistic. Let's go with that. I think the plan is like, oh, do they really have another Deadly Dispute? Oh no, that's the nightmare. Oh no, that's the worst. Well, that went, I mean, we did what we had to do, but that went as bad as it possibly could go. All right, yeah. Opponent's gonna drain us a bunch. They are gonna kill the Cruel Celebrant. Refuels. Well, we untap. Haunted Witness, eh? Well, Leyline, yeah, go. Well, opponent definitely not using their graveyard, that's for sure. But we are dying. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Another card that doesn't really especially care about Leyline, Urborg. Opponent hits us. Outland Liberator, please. Temple Garden, okay. Well, this was the blowout. This was the blowout. Yeah, this seems like a really bad matchup. Thankfully, it's not a super popular matchup. The Zac decks have really fallen off. They used to be at one point like the best deck in the format. Now Rakdos Sacrifice is more in the tier 2/tier 3 range. So they've gotten a ton worse. So it's not a matchup that we should have to play against very often, but when you do play against it, it is bad news. Witch's Oven, sure. I mean, we're just so dead. Even if we draw Liberator, we're dead now. Satyr Wayfinder. Well, let's go out doing what we love, which is casting Satyr Wayfinders and dying. All right, good game, Sacrifice. Oh, that wasn't even close. On to round number 5 with Abzan, Rally, Aristocrats, and Pioneer. And, yeah, I mean, I think we keep this. It's okay. We got no 1-drop, which is a little awkward. But our 2-drops are decent, and we could draw a 1-drop. That would be sweet. Or more Blooming Marshes. Oh, little land heavy. Well, Blooming Marsh, go. Looks like Rakdos midrange, Kroxa. Well, we have infinite lands to discard, so we will, discard Blooming Marsh, take the 3. We probably Priest here. The upside of Priest is if we draw a 1-drop, we can like Wayfinder. Oh my god. Oh, the Flood. We're only a 22 land deck. Are we still gonna Priest? Yeah, let's still Priest. So there's still the upside that if we draw 1-drop, we could like Satyr Wayfinder plus 1-drop, sack them both, draw a card, blah, blah, blah. We do need to really stop drawing lands though, or we're gonna be in trouble. Hopefully this isn't a Graveyard Trespasser. That would also be obnoxious. Opponent, Fable of the Mia Breaker. All right, 1-drop please. 1-drop please. Opponent passes. All right, that's the 1-drop. Okay, so we get to play Satyr Wayfinder, go digging for a land. All right, well, we're getting all the lands out of the way, so that's good, I guess. Take the Overgrown Tomb, play Concealed Courtyard, play the Haunted Witness. Did we just want to do this now? I guess it's possible we draw something. Yeah, let's do it. Priest you, sack. There's not a ton of stuff we can play with double black, but all right, Blister Pod, Pestern. All right, well, we get rid of the token. We got another 1-drop for next turn. Gonna need to find a rally though. This Crocs is eventually gonna come back and be annoying. We're slowly getting creatures in the graveyard. Opponent discards. Wow, Shielded Graveyard Trespasser. Okay. And kills the priest. Yep. Ooh, opponent's missing land drops. Interesting. Well, that should buy us a little bit of time. Well, go to combat. Hit you for 1. Land untapped. Cartel Aristocrat. And Cruel Celebrant. Opponent not drawing lands is helpful. We really need a rally. We have like all the pieces we need to win if we can find a rally. And if we can dodge more graveyard hate. Opponent is gonna get to flip this. Fatal Push the Celebrant. Yeah, there's not even any reason to sack it. Drain it for 1. Well, come on, rally the ancestors. All right, opponent gonna flip the Fable. That will be an issue eventually. They have the Graveyard Trespasser. Boo, 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 boo. Gonna eat the Fiend Artisan. Okay. Passes. We draw. Ooh, a Goife. Goife is pretty big. Opponent's gonna be able to copy this. The question is, do we need to take Numa something? We could also just kick a Goife, play a Blister Pod, and try to block. Losing our graveyard is a bummer. All right, 1, 2, 3. I think we just kick the Goife. All right, kick Goife. Mill some cards. Play Blister Pod. Play Overgrown Tomb. Pass the turn. Come on, Rally of the Ancestors. Please, please, please. Opponent. All right, gonna kill the Goife, so we'll sack the Goife. Pro black. The problem is if we don't draw Rally soon, this Graveyard Trespasser is gonna... Thoughtseize is a whiff. Okay, this is fine. Opponent's trying to get cards in the graveyard for... Crocs, I think. No attacks. Rally? Yeah, I think we just gotta pass. Actually, do we? Should we be playing the priest? Probably. All right, let's play the priest. We're gonna wait. This does let our opponent... So what we can do is sack the Blister Pod to get a mana and use that to tick Numa. That might be the plan. Opponent gonna Dreadbore the priest. All right, so we'll sack the priest, pro black. The opponent's drawing more removal than lands, I think. Opponent passes. Yeah, let's sack Blister Pod. Pro red. Tech Numa. Probably just get back the priest again, I guess. I guess Fiend Artisan's gonna be huge, isn't it? Let's take Fiend Artisan. I mean, if we draw Rally, we do win. That is just game. And we haven't milled one yet. Ooh, Call the Death Dweller. That's also pretty good. Call the Death Dweller. Haunted Witness. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Okay. Opponent's gonna copy to eat 1. Gonna eat the priest. All right, that is worse. And then we'll play Fiend Artisan. Pass the turn. All right, come on, Rally the Ancestors. That is what we need. Opponent loses a Trespasser. Hopefully our opponent's about done casting removal spells. They've used multiple Dreadbores. They've used a Fatal Push. Being able to start tutoring things up with this Fiend Artisan would be sweet. I mean, we definitely have lethal if we find Rally, even through a Graveyard Trespasser. Opponent goes to combat. No attacks. Okay, we draw Rally the Ancestors. Stitcher's Supplier. Well, Stitcher's Supplier mills some cards. Fiend Artisan. Sack the Soldier token. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Pass the turn. I mean, we're trying to get all these priests because if we can get the priests, they can potentially draw us cards. I assume this is end step copy the Glutton. Yeah. So opponent is wrathing away our graveyard, annoyingly. What a weird draw for our opponent. 3 lands and just all the removal and interaction. Eats 2 Blood Artists. Yeah, I mean, it's possible our opponent can use this to just exile enough from the graveyard. Oh, come on now. All right, opponent. Never a whiff on those Dreadbores. As many Dreadbores as lands drawn. Opponent attempts. Bone Crusher Giant gets in with the dork. Yeah, I wonder, we might get to the point where we can't win even if we draw a rally because of this Graveyard Hate. Graveyard Hate's pretty good against us. Opponent, gonna wrath away our stuff, gonna hit us, we're gonna take our beats. Down to 7, not great, they get to keep doing this. We draw a useless land. Yeah, I mean, I guess we gotta pass the turn, but boy, I do not like where we're at. Yes, Graveyard Glutton's gonna beat us, I think. And now I'm not convinced that a rally actually wins us the game. I don't think it does. Our opponent's just, whew. Yeah, Graveyard Hate's good against us. And Fable the Mirror Breaker is just a absurd magic card. Eats the graveyard down to 5. I mean, I guess we're just gonna lose to these Gluttons in our full graveyard. We're actually just dead here, right? Copy the Glutton again. What an awkward game. Well, we'll see if they do it. I guess we won't scoop, but I think we're dead. Opponent, do they see... All right. Wow. All 4 Dreadbores. That's bad news for us. Losing that first game, real bad news. Well, Outland Liberator's Fatal Push is in. Go down a couple Haunted Witnesses. So much removal. All right, do a little trimming right like that. Oh, we started out 3-0, and then are we going to lose our last 2 matches? I mean, it does seem like Graveyard Hate is one of the biggest factors. When we have to deal with Graveyard Hate, why do we have 61 cards? I'm so confused. The Graveyard Hate it is tough. And Rakdos just, incidentally, has main deck... Wow. Yeah, we can't keep that. 5 lands, we do have the rally, which is nice, but 5 lands is so bad. Well, all right. Not feeling great, but we'll see. Tap land, go. Opponent. Castle Lockwane, getting the card draw going. Opponent passes, and there's the 1-drop right on time. Priest of Forgotten Gods, go. What removal do we have this turn, friend? Looks like a Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, we might just be getting junded out here. We draw. Outland Liberator. Well, we will play... Wow, is it really Stitcher's Supplier? That feels so bad. Zulaport Cutthroat. That also doesn't feel great. Go. If this is Graveyard Trespasser, we kind of just cry. Tap land for our opponent. Passes. We draw a land. Well, hit ya for 1, hopefully. Ooh, opponent takes it. Winning. All the way down to 19. Godly Shrine. Untap. Stitcher's Supplier. Mill a few cards. Well, there goes a rally. We did get a couple creatures, though, which is something. And run out of Fiend Artisan. Pass the turn. And there's a removal spell. Opponent gets drained. Yeah, this combination of removal and Graveyard Hate seems very difficult for our deck. Eoldred. Well, it's not like we're drawing extra cards, so... Alright, we get drained. Well, I guess we Fiend Artisan again. And Haunted Witness. Our opponent not having removal for a turn would be sweet. Can we activate a thing, opponent? Just once, please. Sheoldred Castle Lockwane seems pretty good. Way to make up for the... Alright, opponent has a Dreadbore. Goes to combat. Goes attacking. Well, we'll block with Stitcher's Supplier. Mill some cards. We don't even have a rally win if we draw it here. I'll drain ya. Mill. Ooh, 3 lands. We do need 1 more land to be able to rally. Opponent plays the land. And Bone Crusher Giant. Come on, Aristocrats. So we draw the land. So, I mean... this land leaves us, like, sort of live to rally, although we don't have the pieces to win. So I don't even know if we are live to rally, honestly. I'll block with Haunted Witness. Take 4. All the Blood Artist triggers in the world might not be able to raise this Sheoldred. Haunted Witness milled. Opponent's drawing lands this game. Castle Lockwane. Doesn't hurt that much because of Sheoldred. Opponent gets a card. In passes, we draw. Priest of Forgotten Gods. I mean, Priest of Forgotten Gods is a good one. Living seems unlikely, but if it does, I mean, I guess we hit ya. Boom. All the way down to 14, maybe. All right, opponent takes it to 14 past the turn. Opponent adapts. Sheoldred back up to 16. We've gotten so many Blood Artist triggers and they just don't matter. Opponent combat attacks. Oh, we'll block with a 1/1. So we gain back a little life, which is kind of helpful. Opponent down to 15, we go up to 10. The traditional Dreadbore. I mean, our opponent has had 6 copies of Dreadbore in the top, like, 30 cards of their deck or something across 2 games. That's a very high Dreadbore rate, although this is a very removal-heavy deck. It's very Jund-esque. Opponent, tap land. Well, I mean, we need a miracle. We need a miracle. Is it a rally? No, Satyr Wayfinder. I mean, we can play the Satyr Wayfinder. Mill some cards, get a land. Oh god, didn't even really mill any good cards. Well, get a land. Yeah, we did not mill anything helpful there. That's not great. We might just be dead here. We still don't have a lethal rally. Opponent, thinking about blooding. All right, gonna keep it for removal. That probably makes the most sense. Yeah, since we don't have a sack outlet in the graveyard, other than a priest, which doesn't work. Opponent, more removal. I'm not even sure a rally wins us the game. And opponent, even more removal. Well, we might as well blow up that blood token. And opponent going to loot. Well, if they have one more removal spell, this is just straight up lethal to the attack plus Shieldred. Actually, is maybe down to the Bugbear's lethal. Yeah, that's 4-8. Yeah, that does it. Oh, couldn't find it. Wow, the ups and downs of that league. So we started out 3-0 crushing people, but then the last 2 rounds, we got to see where the deck can struggle, which is against Graveyard Hate, and especially Graveyard Hate combined with removal. Like, in theory, just removal's okay, because then we just rally everything back. But when we have removal plus Graveyard Hate, like we saw in game 1 there against Rakdos, tough. Good news is we still got a treasure chest, and sometimes it only takes 1. What do we get? Sculpting Steel and Burning Sun's Avatar. Okay. Well, sometimes it takes more than 1. Like this time. The deck's sweet, but Graveyard Hate is a problem. We'll talk about it in the wrap-up. Be right back. So what do we learn this week about Abzan Rally Aristocrats? And overall, we finished 3-2 with the deck, which, I'll take a 3-2. That's a winning record. That's a treasure chest. So a decent record, although it was actually kind of a disappointing 3-2 because we started off 3-0 and we were just like crushing everyone. We even beat Mono Green Devotion, which we never beat. And then our last 2 matchups, we lost against 2 different versions of Rakdos. And I think the story was really, the last 2 decks had Graveyard Hate. That was the big deal. They also had just a ton of removal, which removal by itself doesn't really matter because we just rally everything back anyway. But Graveyard Hate plus removal, really good against our deck. So essentially, we beat the 3 decks that didn't have access to much Graveyard Hate. We lost 1 game against Mono Green Devotion when they carned out a Tormod script. So against non-Graveyard Hate decks, we did really well. But when our opponent had Graveyard Hate, things got much, much tougher for our deck. And I think that's kind of how this deck is going to play. As we talked about in the deck, our main rally plan and our backup Make Big Fiend Artisan and Goyf plan, they both rely on the graveyard. So Graveyard Hate's just really, really good against our deck. And while we do have like some cards that help, like Outland Liberator, I really feel like it's not enough. So my biggest piece of advice for this deck, and the deck felt really, really good, is I think we need more answers to opposing Graveyard Hate. Like, we can play Beseju in our mana base and have some main deck Graveyard Hate. We can play Assassin's Trophies or more Outland Liberators, whatever, something more in our sideboard to have access to more Graveyard Hate destruction after sideboarding. I don't really think we need Voice of Resurgence. Like, Voice is fine. If we want it, we can play it in the main deck over like a, I don't know, Haunted Witness or something. It's kind of a bigger version of that. But I don't think Control's actually a bad matchup for this deck. We didn't play against Control in our league, but we've played Rally against Control many times in the past. And because Rally's instant speed, you don't really have to worry too much about Control. You worry about Graveyard Hate, you worry about getting got by like a Farewell or something, but counter spells are really not a huge issue. You can usually play around them since Rally's an instant. So that would be my advice. I like the deck. This setup is sweet. It felt really powerful. It's just really fragile to Graveyard Hate, and because Greasefang is like one of the best decks in the format, literally every single deck we play against is probably gonna have some form of Graveyard Hate. So it's not like we can really hope to dodge very consistently, because everyone's got to play it to beat Greasefang. So that would be my advice. The deck is sweet. The deck is fun. We saw it be competitive. We posted a winning record. We just kind of got wrecked by Graveyard Hate a couple times. So some more answers to that could be good. But anyway, that is Abzan Rally Aristocrats. That's been our Much Improved for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.